that said, I want to look at this idea of who we are, identity. How do we define ourselves? How do you know who you are? The Goo Goo Dolls had a song back, I think, in the 90s, and I'm dating myself by saying this, called Iris. And the song says, I don't want the world to see me because I don't think that they'll understand. When everything's made to be broken, I just want you to know who I am. Who are you? How do you define yourself? Is it based on how successful you've been at something over here or how well you've achieved this particular goal? See, the problem with identity in this world is that without God, identity is based on something that you do or on some subjective set of standards. And the problem is that when something changes, when one of those criteria changes, then who are you then? If your identity was that you're a star athlete and all of a sudden you get hurt, well, who are you now? Now there's a new goal scorer. How do you know how to define yourself? And even more so, how do we define people in this world who are born with physical or intellectual disabilities? What is the identity of somebody with Down syndrome, let's say? Would we say, well, they're not the football star, therefore they don't really have an identity? But what if we took identity out of the hands of people and gave it back to God? What would he say to us? He would say that your identity is intrinsic within you. And what do I mean by intrinsic? I mean that it relates to your essential nature. It belongs to your very nature. In other words, it was a part of you before you had the chance to earn it or even create it. So unlike your actions, which are manifestations of your character, personality, strengths, and weaknesses, your identity doesn't change with God. So what do I mean? What is it that belongs to your very nature? What is it that doesn't change? That you were created in the image of God. And this image is inherent in you. That means it's permanent, essential, and inseparable, and there's nothing you can do to alter it. And it's the image of the one after whom you were ultimately created to resemble, God. This image means that we are created in his shadow or in his likeness, that we have characteristics and qualities of him. J.I. Packer says we should be reflecting at our creaturely level what the Bible shows God is and does. In other words, we should be loving, just like God's loving. And we are relational, because God's relational. We're intelligent beings, because God's intelligent. We are also morally responsible for what we do, as compared to animals. We don't hold morally responsible. Because of the image of God, we can say that we are not a mistake, no matter what anybody has ever told you, no matter what you have told yourself. Every intricate detail, every piece of complexity about your body is not a mistake. You're a masterpiece. And it is this very image of God that separates humans from animals.